-1.
Hello, everyone. My name is James Phoenix, and welcome to another episode of The Lair of the Phoenix. Today, as you can tell from the large logo currently on your screens, we're here to talk about the final musical of the Spring of Starkid, although it might not be the final in order. In fact, it won't be.
Jim, what large logo?
The one that I currently have up on the screen here. If you look at the Hangout.
Yeah, it says X Pound Entertainment. Good job,
No,
genius.
I actually can see it does say Twisted.
Yes, I have the Twisted
Now
logo.
it says Twisted. Before it didn't. When you were saying, look at this logo, it said X Pound.
Well, my end's the one that's recording, so it doesn't fucking matter what you say.
Wow,
Anyway.
you're a fucking tool.
I'm sorry, my end's the one that's recording, so as long as it shows on my end, it doesn't matter if you're seeing it or not.
Whatever, go.
Don't whatever me. Anyway.
Annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Anyway, this is another episode of Lair of the Phoenix. This is the most recent musical of Starkid for the Spring of Starkid. It is Twisted, the Untold Story of a Royal Vizier. Coming up later tonight, we will have Holy Musical Batman also. Unfortunately, because of the way this timing is working out, we're doing this one first. So, joining me for this review, as you can see down there, we have from the Shadows Mall, Marcus Shadow.
What's up?
And from the Gaming Grotto, Geeky Girl is down there playing Assassin's Creed 4.
Yep. Multitasking. At least one of us can do it.
Uh-huh. So, we're going to be taking a look at Twisted here. We're going to use the normal format for a Spring of Starkid episode. And this tonight will wrap the Spring of Starkid, by the way. But this review and the next review, we will finish the Spring of Starkid. For anybody who wants to see it and is thinking, wait, you didn't do Senior Year. Yes, we did. I never edited and put it up. So I have, basically, we did record it, and it is now available on the channel. You can scroll back and find it around the time that Harry Potter sequel review was recorded. It's there. I opened it up. I apologize for any time references that are a little off, but the video is there. Feel free to check it out. We did a review Senior Year.
You may want to turn off your desktop because
with that, let's get into
it's affecting you.
What's that?
Turn off your desktop because people could only hear half of what you're saying.
What do you mean?
You kept cutting out. And I have a feeling it might have to do with the fact you're trying to stream your desktop. Hey, I just assumed you want people to hear your...
Nobody else said I was cutting out, so I don't know, but...
I mean, nobody else. I'm half of who's in this call other than you.
Well, and May.
The other half doesn't care.
Anyway, the format of this will be production song by song. We'll talk about each song, liked it, disliked it. Then we'll talk about the production overall a little bit. I will say we have some disparate opinions going on here of this pre-production. Also, we apologize. The Fallen Angel really wanted to be here, but his internet is being a dick tonight, and he could not get in here. So, Fallen Angel.
Hi, Australia.
Yeah, so Fallen Angel, we salute you. So with that...
Also, stop being a third world country.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag I agree with Stacy.
Some people... Okay, and get showers in the farmlands and shit, because they deserve it. That touch is disgusting here.
Moving on. So, of course, background. This production, of course, was the most recent, put on back in November of 2013. It was put up on YouTube specifically on November 28th of 2013 after being recorded back in July. As a part of a limited run, it was at Chicago's Greenhouse Theater. It was produced and directed by Brian Holden. And the cast recording debuted at number 63 on the American iTunes Top 100 Albums chart. So there's that.
Ooh.
Indeed. So fun.
So the song, just whatever I didn't like.
Fair enough. The production stars Dylan. So of course, the production is about the tale of Jafar from the story of Aladdin, the royal vizier, whom in this version, as it turns out, was misunderstood. It was not actually the villain he is portrayed to be. Similar to the style of the production Wicked, with the Wicked Witch of the West. In this production, Dylan Saunders portrays Jafar. The princess is portrayed by Rachel Soglin. Aladdin is portrayed by Jeff Blim. Additional characters include performers include Meredith Stepien, Joe Walker, Nick Gage, Jim Povolo, Jamie Lynn Beatty, Lauren Lopez, Denise Donovan, and newcomers Robert Mannion and Alex Paul, both of whom were awesome.
And I would like to point out Rachel Soglin was also a newcomer, because this was her first production, was it not?
Yes, it was. Rachel Soglin was another newcomer. Yep, you are right.
Whom you people out in TV land might know. I can't remember what the name of the show is, but she was on a TV show before she did this, so she's actually a legitimate actress.
She was? Fair enough. I didn't know that.
Yep, she's been in the business apparently.
Okay, then.
I don't know. I think she was like a recurring character or something. I don't remember if she. I don't think she was like, full-time cast, but yeah, I remember reading that. And I was like, oh, she actually got a gig. That's kind of cool.
Fair enough.
Though I think she's in a much better place now.
Nah. Funny.
Did?
Huh.
Anywho. So we're going to go through the songs one by one. We'll talk about them. We have some disparate opinions here. Marcus and I personally like the production. I think it's pretty awesome. Whereas Giga Girl likes the music but does not like the overall tone and theme of the production. So we'll get into some details here as we go through it. The production opens up with a narrative from Meredith Stepien as her character, who we'll introduce a little later. And we open it with a song called Dream a Little Harder, all about this wonderful magic kingdom, quote-unquote, copyright, where all this takes place. And basically showing the people that live in the magic kingdom here are miserable and poor. And after 2 golden ages, they've fallen into an age of despair. And so they sing a song about dreaming a little harder and believing a little more, and things might just go their way, as well as blaming all their problems on Jafar.
Mm-hmm.
Opinions on this song?
If I could remember what it sounded like, because it's been so long since I've seen the production.
You've got to dream a little harder. When things don't go your way, got to dream a little harder. Trust me when I say that when you dream a little harder, your dreams will follow through.
Okay, if it sounds anything like you, then it was annoying.
Yeah, it's an okay song. I mean, they started upbeat, so fair enough.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. The great Beauty and the Beast parody at the beginning there was pretty hilarious, I'll give them that much.
Mm-hmm.
This production is, of course, a send-up of all Disney of that era, not just Aladdin. And it also introduced, gave some great solos to newcomer Alex Paul, who did an amazing job with her high soprano. I was very impressed. It sounded really good. And overall, the big opening number is just, it's a lot of fun. Everybody gets to sing, kind of introduce themselves a little bit. Jafar gets some solo singing about how he just wants to help the king and hopes people will like him. And nobody likes him. They all blame him for the problems and tell him to fuck off. And it's hilarious.
It's like Jim, because we tell him to fuck off and solve people's problems, and he never does. So there you go.
Mm. Anyway, so after this is established, after the opening song and everything gets established, we cut to Jafar and the captain of the guard, played by Jim Povolo, who explains that they were chasing a thief through the marketplace and that shit kind of went awry and a lot of people died. And after one of the guards, who they thought choked on shit, turned out to be briefly alive for a hilarious yet sad scene, we move on to the introduction of Jeff Blim as Aladdin with the song I Steal Everything. Which is basically sort of a parody of One Jump Ahead of the Bread Man from the original Aladdin, but instead basically makes it fun that he doesn't just steal what he needs to eat to survive. He steals because it's fun and he likes stealing things.
Yep. Which sets up the character of Aladdin.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. And his monkey.
And his monkey.
Is that a metaphor for his penis? Because it really sounds like it.
No, they had a monkey puppet. They had a monkey puppet.
And I have to apologize in advance because I probably won't remember most of the songs because, to be honest, there's only a few songs in here that were actually memorable, at least to me.
Ouch.
Well, I'm sorry. I only seen it once, and yeah, it's been a while.
Well, whose fault is that?
I don't know.
Well, it's because it's so goddamn boring. There's like maybe like 2 interesting songs out of the whole thing, and the plot is like blah. Who gives a shit about that? And it's it wasn't very exciting. So it's very like easy to forget.
See, the plot I remember. I remember the story. The music, not so much.
Interesting.
I have a hard time either.
Anyway, after establishing the character of Aladdin and learning a little bit more about Jafar and the fucked up kingdom, we see the rather unhappy Prince Ahmed marching out of the kingdom after Jafar explains that the prince is the prince of the land of Pixar,
Joe Walker for the win.
and that they need to renegotiate their
Woo!
trade contracts with him or their kingdom will be doomed. But the princess sicks a tiger upon his ass, and therefore he storms out in a huff, causing a lot of shit to hit the fan. And cutting to Jasmine, who the princess, they can't say Jasmine, copyright, the princess, who sings the song Everything and More.
Give us a
I
refrain.
like that song.
What's that, Stacey?
She said she liked that song.
Oh, I like
Fair enough.
one of the songs.
Everything
Yeah.
and more. Good song.
Very jazz.
Have I heard it?
It means,
Yeah.
it means, but it means Jewish
She's-
American princess. So yeah.
Because she is a very good singer. I'll give her that.
She is. She is.
Yeah.
I will admit, the first few times I heard her singing, for some reason, her voice seemed sharp to me, and I don't know why. It was
A little bit.
It was hard to get, but once I listened a little bit, I got a little used to it. It was okay. It's different from a lot of the others in Starkid. Anyway, So she sings a hilarious song called "Everything and More" about how she wants pretty much everything she has, but more than that, but less than that, and just doesn't really know what the fuck she wants, and it's kind of hilarious.
She wants
She Stacy?
everything. She wants adventure. No, she wants adventure with safety. She wants all her money without people judging her for her wealth, so she can help the poor. But she wants everything. She wants everything and contradicts herself.
And all her servants without them restraining her.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we established this, and after this, we see Jafar, who is now, they're really screwed with the Prince Ahmed being mad at them and cutting off their trade contracts. Jafar is now screwed, so Jafar goes to have a meeting with his think tank of like-minded individuals, only for it to find out they were all fired and, in the words of the captain, tossed out the highest window of the tallest tower. So Jafar throws kind of a bitch fit and smashes up his office, or his room, wherever the fuck he is. And he stumbles across a small necklace with a half of a golden scarab on it. This reminds him of someone he knew long ago and leads him into a beautiful song called Sands of Time.
Was it
That
really
game.
called Sands of Time?
It was
Wow.
really called Sands of Time, take me back.
And given that it was Dylan Saunders, I'm going to go on a limb and say it was probably a fantastic song.
It was a fantastic song. All the songs before... What's that, Stacey?
Oh, you said "Take Me Back," and I thought this song would be better, even if you did crack.
Okay, then.
The ironic.
Somebody didn't like the song.
Clearly.
It was just I didn't.
Anyway, so he sings this brief song about remembering his past, where we go into, for the duration of Act 1, almost the entire duration of Act 1, into the past, to learn a little bit more about how Jafar became the man that we see before us. And this entire next segment is absolutely amazing, and Dylan Saunders portrays the emotion beautifully, and the songs are all wonderfully well done here. We
Yes.
very quickly cut to the past to see young Jafar, having just been hired as an assistant vizier at the palace, perform a song called "The Golden Rule." Almost
That's
leads
a good
directly into it. I follow the golden rule, 'cause life's a two-way street. Keep that in mind, and you'll be kind to everyone you meet. Good song.
Mm-hmm.
So, he sings this song with the group, and we find out that back then everybody loved Jafar, and he was the most popular guy around, as opposed to what we saw today. And we see him solving problems and helping people and being nice, and it's awesome. After this, we see Jafar head off to the palace to start his job as the new assistant vizier. Upon arriving, he finds all of the various assistant viziers and the current royal vizier, played by Joe Walker, who are basically evil. And particularly, I want to make a particular mention here because, this comes up in a lot of different Starkid productions, but I want to give an honorable mention right here to Jamie Lee Beatty's facial expressions because they are amazing. Because this hilarious evil face that she does for the duration of this segment is just hilarious and amazing, and I love it. So I just wanted to mention that.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so upon arriving and talking about all the great plans he has to help the people and improve the kingdom, they all laugh at his face, and evil Vizier Joe Walker sings a refrain of the Golden Rule about how they have their own Golden Rule. Whoever has the gold makes the rules. I follow the golden rule. How can a man resist? When the gold in his hand, a tame rule the land, no with an iron fist. Good song. Fun reprise. I like it. I think it's more fun than the first part, personally. Good stuff.
Yep.
So, after being freaked the hell out by this and kind of running out on the Viziers after they make for the opium den, he is walking through, and all of a sudden, a woman is thrown out of somebody's chambers in front of him with her ear cut off because they didn't like her face. I mean, barbaric, but hey, it's home. And she introduces herself as Sherazade, a teller of stories, the woman we saw at the beginning, played by Meredith Stepien. And Sherazade basically sings a song with Jafar as they kind of introduce each other, and he patches up her wound, being a talented healer, because Jafar is awesome like that. And they lead into a song called 1001 Nights, the hit love ballad of the production, because there has to be one.
Mm-hmm. Great song.
It's anytime Dylan Saunders and Meredith Stepien sing together, it's always amazing. And it always works out well that there tend to be love interests in these productions. So it was a great song that worked well. Basically saying that, hey, they both have the stories of their lives, and now they're sort of intertwining, and they didn't expect it to be this way. It's kind of a new chapter. They're trying to learn about it. They want to know more about each other. They're very in love. It proceeds they cover a lot of time very quickly. He proposes to her near the end of the song, and they agree to be together.
Sucks to be Holden.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
He was a director. That's what he gets for not putting himself in the show. Anyway.
I mean, it sucks to be Holden because she has more chemistry with Dylan than she does with him.
In all fairness, we've never seen them try to have chemistry before. Because whenever Pride is in a production, he's either a goofy side character or an evil dude, an evil douchebag. So we never get to see him opposite Meredith on stage to see if they actually have chemistry.
Fair enough.
I will say, if you ever watch any of the
in all fairness, you should be the expert on having no. In all fairness, he should be the expert about no chemistry. Ever been having any kind of chemistry with anyone other than his mother ever. So when he says someone has no chemistry, I'm going to take his word for it. Straight from the asexual himself.
Okay, then. Anyway, so, yeah, but if you ever see the two of them together in the live stuff, you can see a little bit of it there. Specifically, there's one interview with Meredith that I saw where she was just being solo interviewed by somebody, but because she was at home and because she and Brian share an apartment, Brian was there, and she kept having to call him in to fix the laptop and stuff, and so he'd pop in occasionally, and it was kind of cute. They do have some chemistry. But anyway, so moving along, after this song, Jafar gets informed that he has been granted an audience with the Sultan to present his land reform bill to help the people of the Magic Kingdom. And he and Scheherazade, after Scheherazade announces that she is pregnant with child, even though they were told it could not be so, they run off to see the Sultan. Upon arriving, the evil Joe Walker Vizier does a big over-the-top introduction, introducing the Sultan, played by Nick Gage, who is hilarious.
Yes.
So Nick Gage, as the Sultan, proceeds to tell a hilarious story about how he pushed in his penis. And then, upon preparing to hear Jafar's bill, is struck by Shehrazade's beauty and demands that she be made part of his harem. At which point she is yanked away from Jafar and he never sees her again. And we cut back to Jafar in the present day, who laments that she died. He never saw her again before she died within the harem. Shortly, a short while later, a few months later, and so he's very saddened by this. And he remembers having seen the necklace, a story that Scheherazade told him, and we saw this a little early in the production, about a wish-granting jinn that in a lamp in a magical cave, um, you know, out in the desert somewhere, and that it had a wish-granting jinn who could do anything. And Jafar starts to think, he's always been a logical man of reason and science, but starts to wonder, if this were a thing, could I both fix the kingdom and bring back my love? And this leads into a song called "If I Believed."
Mm-hmm.
If I believed in wishes, if I could find the key.
If the Sultan wasn't a big fat dick who steals wives.
Yeah, pretty much. So he sings this beautiful song about if he believed in this, and Dylan Saunders puts his entire heart and soul into this song right here. I'll tell you, this right here, most beautiful song in the production, right here. If I believed.
Yeah, but Dylan Saunders is awesome, and
He
this
knocked
this
this one.
production proves why.
He knocks this one out of the park and debates, should he believe in this? And Jafar comes to the conclusion that yes, I should believe in this, and I should give this a try, because why the hell not? Maybe I can save the day and do some good. And he runs off. At the same time, we cut to Aladdin, who has met the princess in the marketplace. And after he kind of saves her from some goons, he basically starts talking to her, and it's very obvious that he's just trying to get into her pants. He does not actually love her. He wants to sleep with her, which is the joke. And he leads into a song about his very sad backstory about how he was orphaned at 33. Thinking about how he's had no mom or dad. He was left alone at only age 33. He's had to scrounge for everything. He pulled himself up by his bootstraps and started stealing all that he could to survive. And how sad the story is. And, of course, the princess being not altogether there completely falls for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of have a funny thing together where they have a funny little romantic thing together, and it's cute. So after this, we kind of have the big roundup for Act 1 with the song Happy Ending, which I will say right here, this musical fell into the trap that some musicals do, and I don't like it, where the end of Act 1 song is better than the finale song. I kind of hate it when that happens, but it's been known to happen, and this is one of those cases. The finale song is called Happy Endings, featuring Jafar, Aladdin, and Jasmine.
You mean the end of Act 1 song?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Just clarifying that for our audience.
Okay, anyway. Jafar and Aladdin and Jasmine come together to sing this Act 1 finale song. And they kind of reprise their individual numbers, with Aladdin reprising I Steal Everything a little bit, Jasmine reprising Some of Everything and More, and Jafar reprising, I believe he throws a little bit of If I Believed in there, but mostly does the primary Happy Ending song. And they wrap this up together with a big, everything tonight to end Act 1 with a big boom. There it is. So, opinions on Act 1? Anybody comments on Act 1 as a whole?
I'd rather give opinions on the whole
One good
production.
song.
Okay, we'll move on then.
Yeah,
So
there's some good songs in there.
So, yeah, Act 2 has significantly less songs than Act 1. It's a little bit... that's because there's a little more action and a little more plot. We come into Act 2 to return to the land of Pixar, where Prince Ahmed has arrived back at his palace and is pissed as hell that A, he gets no respect in the Magic Kingdom, B, the princess hates him, and C, he's now humiliated for having a tiger attack his ass. So he proceeds to sing a song about how, hey, I'm this awesome guy, women love me and want to sleep with me all the time. In my land, I'm awesome, but in that kingdom, they hate me and I don't get it. So I'm going to declare war on them. I'm going to kill all their people, and then the princess of the Magic Kingdom will have to love me. And this is a song called No One Remembers Ahmed.
Or also affectionately referred to as
The Tiger.
Yeah.
Tiger Fucker. That's a great song.
Yeah,
The choreography on this, I have to say, was done really, really well.
Yes.
Oh,
No one remembers Ahmed.
And Joe Walker completely sells it.
Oh, yeah. And it's a hilarious song, and the one most people remember from this production. It's a great song. Um, so, they completely sell this as a comedy song where Aquaman rallies his troops to attack the Magic Kingdom and proceeds to march onward. We cut back to Aladdin and Jasmine, who are hitting off their romance a little further, continuing it on. And Aladdin, in an aside to the audience, explains that there is a way to get women to think about sex without actually talking about sex. You got to be subliminal about it. And he proceeds to join the princess in a song called "Take Off Your Clothes," which is a setup of all the hilarious hidden sexual things in Disney movies of the time.
That song is hilarious. It was a well-written song. I love the lyrics to that song.
Stacey, you got an opinion on that one?
I like that. That's one of the few songs that I actually like.
Hmm. It is hilarious. It includes references to, of course, "Take Off Your Clothes" being a reference to the line in Aladdin that supposedly existed when the tiger jumped on him, that they later edited in later DVD and home releases, over it sounding like Aladdin saying, "Good teenagers, take off your clothes." There are also references to the penis that appears on the box art of the VHS of The Little Mermaid on King Triton's Palace. The joke about the
And
word sex. What's that?
And the owner.
And the boner of the priest in the Little Mermaid movie near the end, yes. And also the joke of the word "sex" being written in the dust that kicks up in the Lion King during the scene near the end there. So all the little Disney sex references are included in there, and it's a pretty awesome song woven together hilariously with just a hint of whole new world tune to it, but it's unique enough that it works. It is a fun song. So, after they sing this little song and Jasmine convinces them not to sleep together at first, Ahmed's armies march on the kingdom, I should mention that in the meanwhile, Aladdin also marched in here on an illegal parade and turned over all the apple carts. But anyway, so as the thing proceeds and Ahmed's armies begin attacking the Magic Kingdom, Jafar goes into a panic and is lamenting to the Sultan that he doesn't know what to do. And the Sultan says, "Well, don't worry, the princess is going to marry this new prince I found. His armies will crush Prince Ahmed, revealing it to be Aladdin, who's not actually a prince." Upon accusing Aladdin of being a liar and a traitor who stole his lamp away from him, because he still needed Aladdin to get the lamp, but Aladdin was a dick who decided to keep the lamp because all the other treasure melted. Aladdin turns around and accuses Jafar of being a sorcerer. And Jafar uses some chemicals to create a smokescreen to escape. Not sorcery, chemistry. And he escapes. But steals the lamp in the chaos, leading into a song known as "Twisted," the title song of the production.
I love that song too. Again,
And in fact,
choreography and costumes, yeah.
And in fact, the song is of Jafar lamenting that, okay, he's stolen the lamp now, but, what does he do? The path is twisted now, because he can either return the lamp and let things kind of go this way, which he knows is wrong, or he can, to the public, be seen as a criminal and as a bad guy and be remembered as a bad guy, but still be doing the right thing and know that for himself. In order to drive home the point about villains being misunderstood, the song features a wide variety of villains.
Disney
from
villains.
from other Disney films of the time, beginning with Jamie Lynn Beatty as Ursula, and
Brilliant.
including such other appearances of newcomer Robert Mannion as Gaston, Lauren Lopez as Maleficent.
Gaston was also brilliant.
He was also brilliant. Nick Gage as Scar, and I want to say it was Alex Paul playing Captain Hook, but I'm not positive.
Don't remember.
As well as a 2-minute appearance from Denise Donovan as Cruella de Vil near the end.
Yeah. I do love this song.
It is a great song, lamenting all these different villains and their true backstories where they were not actually necessarily bad guys, it's just how they were remembered. And Jafar, at the end, has to make the decision that, yeah, I'm going to take the twisted path because I got to do the right thing to save the kingdom, even if people are going to remember me as a villain for it. I have to do what I have to do. And so he takes control of the genie, who was played by Nick Gage, and is really funny.
Yes, he's brilliant as the genie.
Basically, he speaks in nothing but movie quotes in hilarious voices. It's amazing. And after some back and forth banter and Ahmed's army arriving and going back and forth, there's a big ass fight scene. They go back and forth. Jafar wishes to become a sorcerer to fight them off. He wishes him to put the palace up on the hill to get out of the way to protect the people. And there's a big ass fight, and eventually, inevitably, Ahmed is somewhat driven back, but Jafar has to retreat. And as he ends up retreating, ends up in the same room as Jasmine, who has realized at this point that Aladdin is a dick and kind of cast him off. Jafar tells Jasmine, "Look, I'm not a good wisher. I don't believe, but you do. You believe it. You believe in everything and more than anything is possible." And he gives her the lamp, saying that, or rather, Jafar uses his last wish to become a genie himself in order to deprive Aladdin of the genie. There's a hilarious scene where he runs into Aladdin and Jasmine, and Aladdin gets a hold of the lamp again, and it's kind of schizophrenic and crazy, because Jeff Blim does that very well. And Jafar manages to trick him into basically giving the lamp up. He manages to get it back, and wishes to make himself an all-powerful genie. He then gives his lamp to Jasmine, saying that she is the one who can solve everything because she believes in anything being possible. And she wishes that there was a peaceful way to end the war with Prince Ahmed's army. That the that the kingdom would have a sultan who could rule it wisely and lead it into the third golden age. And initially, she wished that Jafar didn't have to go, but he says, "I can't do that. I can't. That's one wish even I cannot grant." And so she just wishes him every happiness and all that. And so, it's at this point, just prior to this song, that Jafar has realized that the princess is actually his daughter with Sherazad. Because the Sultan inverted his penis years ago, he couldn't have had a child. And given when the princess was born, it was right around the time Sherazad died and would have died in childbirth, and thus explaining the entire backstory. So
I thought that was a brilliant piece of writing.
It was. So, effectively, she makes these wishes, and everything works out. The lost tomb of Ali Baba is discovered under the palace, with 4.2 billion drachma inside, which the princess uses to buy the kingdom of Pixar from Prince Ahmed, on the agreement that he will send some people from his kingdom to help fix theirs, and bring back the 2Ds. At the same time, a note is found from the Sultan, who is dead, stating that the princess shall be the sole ruler and majority stockholder of the kingdom. So she is in charge to be able to run the kingdom. And all kinds of goodness happen. And as all this is happening, namely the wishes, before the wishes come true, there's a song called "The Power in Me," which is the last full song here for the production. Where, Jasmine sings about, "I'm not sure I have the power, and if I do have some kind of power in me, it's because of your guidance, Jafar, because you've always been there for me." And Jafar saying, "No, you've always had it in you all along. It's who you are. I may have, coddled it, I may have helped, nurture it a little bit, but it's always been in you. I didn't give it to you. I just nurtured what was already there. You have to believe in yourself and be the leader that the people need now."
It's still a good song.
It's a beautiful song. I will say the one thing I don't like about this production is it seemed like the princess did a 180 really freaking fast. I understand, okay, there's a limited amount of time you have in this musical to do this, but it seemed like she went from "I'm in love with Aladdin and I even want everything and more" to all of a sudden, "Oh, I'm mature and can run the kingdom and know what I'm doing" in like no time at all. And that seemed kind of unrealistic to me.
It's Disney. Is it supposed to be realistic?
I know, but it's a Disney parody. I think a little more highly of Starkid than that.
But they're being true to the source material if they're not being realistic.
Yeah. Anywho, so the power.
Sorry, Mole's not here. Someone has to do that.
Yeah. So "The Power in Me" is a beautiful number in which they sing a little bit about, of course, what I mentioned, whether Jasmine has the power in herself, whether Jafar put it there, etc. Beautiful song which rounds it out. The wishes are granted and everything's okay. And in our final scene, we see Jafar in the lamp out in the Cave of Wonders, or the cave of whatever the hell they call it in the play, where he has been, imprisoned in his lamp, only for Scheherazade to appear to him, saying that that's not how I remember the story ending. And it's revealed that because Jasmine wished for his happiness, Scheherazade was brought back to stay with him in the lamp and be with him forever. And they ended up by watching Aladdin, who has run off and become old and fat and is the peddler from the beginning, telling the story of the lamp to try to make himself the hero and sound awesome, even though he was actually the douchebag loser the whole time. We then go into the
Yeah.
finale song, which is a reprise of 1001 Nights, with the entire company coming out to make a story with no end and round out the production.
Which I think that song was appropriate for the ending song, and it's a good
Yes.
song.
And there is the, after, the repeated love stuff of not happening, there is the inevitable Dylan Saunders Meredith Stepien kiss at the end, which is always cool.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That is Twisted, the untold story of a royal vizier. My friends, your overall opinions.
Well, I do have to say, this production, unlike pretty much every other production they've done, is really dark and depressing.
Yeah.
But also because of that, they don't have a lot of like upbeat songs. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think they could have done with one or two more upbeat songs. But what this production did is it showcased a lot of things a lot of other productions don't. Because with this production, number one, you have Dylan Saunders playing the lead, which thank Christ they gave him the lead. And I think Dylan Saunders more than anybody benefited from this production because this really showcased Dylan Saunders' range as both an actor and a singer. And with the way they wrote the music for this one, where a lot of the music, because this was a darker, more depressing story, there was a lot of, like ballads and kind of, you know what I mean, like emotional music, which I think it's like perfectly within Dylan's range. And he sings it beautifully, and this production has some of the better music that they've written, like lyrically and musically. And it has really fabulous writing. The story is, I think, is clever. Yeah, okay, it's basically the Aladdin story, but they take it and they twist it around. But I kind of like how they twisted it, how they,
Nice.
rationalize some of the stuff. I thought it was clever. I really like this production. Stacy?
It was okay. It was meh. It was kind of like a waste of time, pretty much.
To you.
I mean, it had two good songs. I could have totally listened to those two songs, ignored everything else, and I would have found it great. And then, but like, I don't know. I just found this one like the least original and the most boring. I mean, the best one so far was Starship, and this was just boring. And I'm really glad I saw Starship after I saw this, because that was like, Starship, yeah. Like, that one was awesome. I'm glad I watched that one after this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I said Starship. Anyway, I'm glad I watched that one after this one, because this one kind of made me, oh, this sucks. But then I was cheered up again after watching Starship, so, yeah, if you get depressed after this one, watch Starship.
Fair enough. Also, Stacey, I know you're not going to be in the review for it, but you do still have to watch Holy Musical Batman.
Eventually, yeah.
Well, that one's pretty good. Anyway.
Eventually.
Yeah, pretty much. So, that was Twisted. Personally, I really like the production. I think it's a great show. I think the songs work well. I do think some of the plot elements felt a little rushed throughout the course of it. And I thought that overall it seemed like they crammed a lot into a short period, but Dylan Saunders made it work. The emotion he portrayed through the entire backstory of Jafar, the songs that were sung by him, those meaningful songs, plus just enough comedy songs to balance it out. I will say they went a little heavy on the adult themes and the profanity in this one, more than most of their productions.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say they, aside from maybe the opening repeating "fuck yous," aside from that, I think it works.
Tiger fucker.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, and it's a really fun production as long as you're old enough to understand the context and what's going on. I think it's just a great musical, a great parody. I love all the songs in it. I do think one thing I do agree with Saison is I do think Starship is musically stronger, if only because that has consistently good songs all throughout. Whereas this one has great songs, but there's a very wide variety of tone. Whereas the other one has a very tone that's maintained throughout the production. And I think that works with
Yeah.
this one. The tone kind of shows some
Get more
goofy comedy. It's just some goofy comedy. I'm gonna sleep with the princess. To my wife is dead. You know, it just kind of
Also,
dramatically
like
shifts tone repeatedly.
the whole I find the whole idea less original because they used a whole lot of lines from the source material, which I get, and they had to look that shit up, and like they wanted to like give homage to it or whatever. But at the same time, it also felt like you're using too much of all the stuff that's there, and you're not making enough of your own stuff.
Fair enough.
I will say the criticisms I could give is one, I felt the pacing was a little bit off with this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt that while Jeff Blim did an excellent job as Aladdin, I felt he went a little bit too over the top, almost into Sweet Tooth territory, and I didn't think that fit the tone of the production. And that kind of threw it off a little bit too. I'm like, yeah, pull it back, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Starkid has, they have a specific, a certain type of, or brand of comedy, and unfortunately, with the kind of story they were trying to tell with this one, yeah, their regular comedy kind of felt out of place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is too bad because if you take the comedy out of it, this is a fantastic story, and
Yeah.
and it was very well portrayed, like you said, especially by Dylan Saunders, who you could tell put everything to not to sound a little corny, but he put everything and more into this production, into this character. And Dylan Saunders is what made this character in this production special, in my opinion.
Sorry, I didn't have the sound effects at the ready.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Fair enough. I think that's pretty much our overall thoughts on the production. I think we agree that while it's generally there's some good parts to it, some of us liked it more than others, and we all had different parts of it that we liked, and different things that we saw an issue with. So overall, it's an interestingly divisive Starkid production. That's about all we got for Twisted. Thank you two for joining me.
You're welcome.
And we will see you again in a short while for the next video, where we'll be reviewing Holy Musical Batman to round out the spring of Starkid, and Marcus Shadow will be returning for that one with me, and instead of the Geeky Girl, we'll be joined by the Queen of Hearts for that video, so stay tuned for that. And on behalf of the guests, I'm James Phoenix. We'll see you next time in the spring of Starkid for another Lair of the Phoenix.